Hey, what's going on people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video we'll be counting down the top 10 weapons in the entirety of Borderlands 3. This is the best of the best, the guns that you'll want when up against big old Hemovorus the Invincible. I'll be telling you why they're so good, give you tips on how to maximize their damage, and of course let you know how to get them. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, and if you find the content helpful or entertaining and you're not subscribed, hitting that sub button helps out more than you'd think. Don't forget to look out for part 2 next week and let me know what should be in it. And let's crack into it. We open part 1 of the top 10 weapons in Borderlands 3 with the Tizzy, a COV pistol that can come in any element and is exclusive to Arms Race. You can find it anywhere there, but it does have an increased chance to drop from this chest. The Tizzy is pure COV carnage in its every sense, defying the laws of physics and producing a phenomenal DPS number that no fully automatic weapon can match. Like a few other weapons in the game, its fire rate grows as the trigger continues to be held down, but it grows to an unbelievable rate, ignoring its overheat cap and burning through a quarter of its total ammo pool before it must be cooled off. Those 300 rounds is enough for any Vault Hunter to defeat practically every boss, or put a massive dent in their hopes to live. Because it can come in every element, no boss is safe from the Tizzy's torment as it shreds through them, draining their health bar at an insane rate. To complement its fire rate, a consecutive hits anointment is a great choice. URAD is good too, but really they only serve to increase its time to kill even further, as a mere bare bones Tizzy is more than many bosses can handle. Time now for the Free Radical, a powerful melee 1 blaster that is part of DLC 6, can only come in shock, and drops the quickest from Beef Pliskin around here in Carras Canyon. The Free Radical is a gun that behaves similarly to the Beacon, firing a little slower but hitting a decent chunk harder. There's no Nova on reload, instead the bullets split off after impact and circle back into your target. It gives it the added boost that it doesn't even need, as your target will often be fried before the secondary projectiles even land. It's a great gun, able to dish out heavy damage wherever it's needed, and it never puts a foot wrong when up against mobs or even bosses. Moving on now to the Hellwalker, a Jacob shotgun that only comes in fire and has an increased chance to drop from Road Dog, who you fight around here in the Splinterlands. The Hellwalker is the prize in the Jacobs collection, handed down through generations until it found its way into your hands. It's incredibly powerful, firing 16 searing pellets which burn through your opponents. It comes with fixed parts, so you'll only be farming anointments, with URAD or consecutive hits being best. The reason for that is its low mag size sitting at 2, but if you can buff up your mag size enough, you can fire off more than 1 shot per reload, making it even more deadly. Its high pellet count coupled with the Jacobs ricochet effect make critical hits extremely damaging, ripping through multiple enemies per shot. There's no doubt it's a top shotgun and a great gun for flak. At number 7, it's the Atlas Replay, a brand new weapon belonging to the Director's Cut, with an increased chance to drop from Hemovorus the Invincible and Dark Thirst Dominion. The Atlas Replay is automatic destruction personified, utilizing its tracker rounds to create a machine with a mind of its own. Every enemy you tag with its tracker darts will boost its fire rate, often doubling it. It's capable of sending out its mini rockets at crazy speeds that'll seek out and demolish targets. That splash damage makes it great for Moes, but its homing rounds allows someone like Zane to rush across the battlefield back and forth with that trigger held down. You'll see enemies disappear before your very eyes, and mobbing is definitely where it's at its best. Now for the Flipper, a melee 1 SMG from DLC 3, which can come in every element. It has an increased chance to drop from Minosaur, you fight around here in Bloodsun Canyon. The flipper's raw power comes from its unique firing pattern that causes more projectiles to be added to each shot as you fire, without consuming any extra ammo. It starts at 1, peaks at 9, and will cause some serious injury when it's all warmed up. There's not much your enemies can do when you're a quarter way through your mag and the flipper's all warmed up. It cuts through them like a cold knife through milk. You want to buff up its mag size as much as you can to get it shooting all 9 projectiles for the longest possible time, and it's generally better with a consecutive hits anointment, especially if you're Moze, who can use its splash damage combined with redistribution to literally fire forever. Time now for a peak launcher, the Backburner, a deadly elemental weapon which is best farmed for by targeting the Agonizer 9000 at the end of the Guts of Carnivora, but you'll only have success on Mayhem 6 or above. The Backburner fires a single orb at the cost of 3 ammo per shot at a great pace, which causes absolute carnage on impact. Once that orb lands, the damage surge begins as the singularity sucks all enemies in before smaller orbs rain down upon them. The damage it deals is monstrous and concentrated over a wide area. That singularity effect makes it good in a mobbing situation, but it's definitely best against bosses where it at least gets challenged. A lot of anointments work with it too: consecutive hits, URAD, action skill in splash, and 390 for the thrill of that one shot kill. It also couples perfectly with the brand new Infernal West Shield that can see it hitting double damage, and it's a standout launcher for every Vault Hunter that you'll want to pull out at any sign of trouble. Moving on now to the Monarch, a Kingpin assault rifle that can come in every element including kinetic. It's a Mayhem 6 Plus weapon that can be obtained the fastest from Kilovolt. You fight around here in Letra City. The Monarch is a gun that will transform you into the Queen herself, granting you immortality through its sheer power, sucking the life force from all the peasants who stand in your way. It's DPS personified, supporting monumental damage at a rapid rate of knots with the ability to further increase it. That's right, by pulling out its bipod you can double its damage, but not without a massive restriction to movement speed. If you run Zane you might want to avoid that, but there's no denying the power it unveils. It's an absolute machine on everyone, even coming in a ×8 variant that consumes double the ammo, but any version you get will destroy a pack of mobs and bosses alike. Now it's time for the Lightshow, a DLC 3 pistol manufactured by Vladov that can come in any element including none at all, and has an increased chance to drop from Lazodactyl, a flying enemy who you fight in this area of the map in the Obsidian Forest. The Lightshow is pretty much the perfect gun, firing 4 pellets at a good rate that deal high damage. It has an unusual projectile pattern where the bullets spin from its barrel, cutting circles into your enemies. Because its projectile pattern is perfectly balanced, being a circle and all, it doesn't recoil whatsoever, but it is best in close to medium ranges. It's the perfect companion for any boss fight or wave of enemies and never ceases to dish out high damage. Hitting up the crit now, this one isn't a legendary but is even easier to get. Just rock up to Moxie's bar before closing and keep filling up that tip jar and you'll have one in no time.
That's too kind, sugar.
The crit doesn't have that name for no reason. It supports a whopping 150% critical damage bonus, which is incredibly unusual for anything outside of Jacobs, almost as unusual as your neighbour's potato salad. It always comes in shock with a larger than normal mag size and will tear it up wherever it's needed. It's one of very few weapons of the game that heal you for a portion of damage dealt, and on Mayhem 10 it'll fill your health bar pretty much instantly. Of course it also deals splash damage, and you can even get a binary version if you want to almost double its damage at the cost of increased ammo consumption. All these positives have to come with a negative though, and that's in the chance for it to fall out of your hand after every reload. If you haven't welded it to your fingers, it's gonna come loose, but only when the mag empties, which isn't a problem for Moze. We're here, we've made it to top spot, and who's on the throne? It's the Plasma Coil, another top tier weapon manufactured by Maliwan. This one's another SMG, but is exclusive to Arms Race and can be found anywhere there, but does have an increased chance to drop from this chest. The Plasma Coil deals heavy damage in concentrated elemental bursts with a large magazine size, and always comes with shock and radiation elements, which of course you can switch between. After fully charging, it rails off 16 heavy hitting projectiles that do unbelievable amounts of damage. It's just insane, and you can choose to fire the entire burst or separate it by letting go of the trigger early. It's another Maliwan weapon that deals splash damage, which is a big plus, synergizing extremely well with the splash damage modes. But this is simply a must-have weapon for anyone, especially while mobbing, and it can take out bosses in a flash too. So that's all for this video. Make sure to stay tuned for part 2 next week, where we'll cover some more extremely powerful weapons. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, or hey, maybe even subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.